Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Hope for the Future show. As always, I must tell you that I am privileged to be able to share this information with you. So come on, join with me as we continue to discuss the topic of leadership. I also need to let you know that I've added some bonus content at the end of the show. So don't forget to check out the bonus content at the end of this show. All right, let's jump into it. In the last session, we discussed the law of intentionality, which says that growth must be intentional. In this session, we'll discuss the law of awareness. Now, the law of awareness states that we have to know ourselves to grow ourselves. You must know where you are currently in order to get where you want to be. Now, here are some things to think about. Do you know what your strengths are? Do you know what your weaknesses or opportunities are? Do you know what you're passionate about? You must be able to gauge not just where you've been, but also where you are in order to plot a path to where you want to be. Otherwise, you cannot set a course to go where you want to go. Years ago, I was traveling from Spartanburg, South Carolina to New York City. And as I was coming down around the Washington, D.C. area, I, by mistake, ended up taking the express lanes into Washington, D.C. And so I got into the middle of D.C. and I was downtown D.C. and I didn't really know where I was, or rather I wasn't familiar with that location. And so I couldn't figure out how to get back to I-95. I stopped a cab driver. I stopped someone on the street. I even stopped a policeman. But none of them seemed to be able to explain to me how to get back onto the interstate. So what I did was I pulled over to the side, I parked, and then I took out my Randy McNally map. Now, cell phones had not too recently come into use, but this was also before GPS and before MapQuest. So I always had my book of maps, Randy McNally, in the back of my car. So I pulled out my trusty Randy McNally and I began to look at the map of Washington, D.C. The first thing I did was I tried to figure out exactly where I was. I looked at the names of the streets and then I tried to find those streets on the map. Once I figured out where I was, then what I did was I then looked to see where 95 was in relation to where I was. And once I found the I-95, I was able to plot my direction to the I-95. Lo and behold, it was very simple. In about 5 minutes, I was back on the expressway and headed to New York City. To reach your potential, you must know where you are and where you want to go. As the great Yogi Berra says, you've got to be careful if you don't know where you're going, because you just might end up somewhere else. John says there are 3 kinds of people when it comes to having direction in life. The first set of persons are those who don't know what they want to do. These people will never reach their full potential because they don't know what to shoot for. Second, these are the people who know what to do but don't do it. These people are usually very frustrated because every day they see the gap between where they are and where they want to be. They see that gap, but they have a myriad of reasons as to why they can't or won't do it. Some of the reasons are fear. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of not making it, not making enough money. Oftentimes, they aren't willing to pay the price. There's one thing you must learn is that everything costs something. The third set of persons are people who know themselves. They possess a strong sense of self. They have strong passion. They're focused. They grow in the areas that help them move forward, and they do what they're created to do. These people are fulfilled. Most people fall into the first category. They don't know what to do. The main reason is they don't know themselves the way they should, and so as a result, they remain unfocused in life. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that knowing yourself is not an easy task. You have to know in order to grow your potential, but then you also have to grow your potential to know who you are. I look at it as a journey of discovery. You begin to discover yourself as you grow. And as you grow, you discover yourself and you learn more about what you're capable of doing. Now, how do you start? Start by paying attention to the things that you're passionate about. How do you find your passion? The first step towards change is awareness. And after awareness, the next step is acceptance. If you want to change, you must know yourself and accept who you are before you can begin the process of moving forward. Here are some questions to work through that process. Do you like what you're doing? I've met so many people who don't like what they're doing. I can't even imagine working a job for 20 years and not liking it. I can't even imagine working a job for 2 weeks and not liking it. Years ago, I worked on a chicken farm plucking chickens. That only lasted 1 week. It wasn't what I was meant to do. And so, after a week, I skedaddled out of there and continued on the journey to finding myself. What would you like to do? Just know that you will never fulfill your destiny doing something that you hate. If you're passionate about something, there's a greater chance that you're going to invest in it and that you're actually going to get better at it. You have to follow your own heart. Can you do what you would like to do? If you're 48 years old and you're still dreaming about making it in the NBA or the NFL as a player, then good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you, ma'am. Your goals must be realistic. You have to be good at it, right? What you want to do must match up with your talents. If you can't carry a note, then good luck being a singer. Do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? Why is important? What is your motive? Do you know what to do so that you can do what you want to do? For example, if you want to be a medical doctor, then you know you've got to go to medical school. Do you know people who are doing what you would like to do successfully? Les Brown always says, success leaves clues. If there are people who are already successful doing what you would like to do, then you can learn from them and you can figure out what their path was and then create your own path in order to get to do what you want to do. And the other question is, are you willing to pay the price? Listen, I believe that's one of the first rule of economics, right? There is no free lunch. A price must be paid for anything you want to do. If you want to be a singer, then you have to practice, or a musician, it's practice, practice, practice. If you'd like to be an athlete, again, it's practice, practice, practice. Everything costs something. So you have to be willing to pay the price in order to do what you want to do. Here are some more questions that you can ask yourself. What talents, skills, and opportunities do you possess to support your desire? Are you talented in that area? We touched on that a little bit. Next, what steps must you take beginning today to start doing what you want to do? Another question, what advice can you get along the way? Next, what will it cost in time? What will it cost in resources? And where do you need to grow most? For example, if one of your goals is to be a public speaker, but you're not good at public speaking, then clearly that's an area in where you need to grow and develop in order to achieve your goal. Whatever it is that you're doing, do you do it every day thinking, I was born to do this? Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, they were born to play basketball. Tiger Woods was born to play golf. Pele was born to play football. Mother Teresa was born to be a missionary. And Martin Luther King Jr. was born to be a civil rights leader. What were you born to do? Carl Jung says that your vision will become clear only when you look inside your own heart. Those who look outside dream. Those who look inside awaken. Mark Twain said that you should find a job that you enjoy doing, and you will never work another day in your life. What are you passionate about? What talents do you have? What were you born to do? Get committed. Be consistent. Be creative. Be purposeful. Be reflective. And be grateful. The law of awareness says you must know yourself to grow yourself. So come join with me on this journey to self-awareness. Tune in next week, where we'll be looking at the next law of growth. That is the law of the mirror. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, to like, and to share on your page. Until we meet again, I wish you hope, happiness, peace, and love. Stay tuned for the bonus content. come back here, my young lady. Come back here, my young lady. Just while I thought everything was running smooth, she left me while I was in the mood. Now I'm calling, crying to you, and my world is relying on you. Come back here, my young lady. Come back here, my young lady. Come back here, my